Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about a concept called death and why I believe it's actually one of the greatest teachers out there. Even though many people think of death being something that's dire, Buddhist monks actually understand this concept that death is something that gives us a whole new perspective on our lives. It helps us appreciate our present and reality and our past so much more if we actually understand how to properly use the concept of death in order to understand the impermanence of our bodies and to appreciate our lives more. So let's get into it. To me, this idea of death, I've come across it a few times, and I would say it's one of those things that I've heard multiple times, but I never fully integrated it until it really became personal to me. I've heard of Buddhist monks, and they do this thing where every morning when they wake up, they don't get up right away. They take a moment while they're still in their beds to consider the concept of death, because what happens is that we woke up. Many people may not have woken up. So the idea of considering death is in a way giving gratitude for the fact that we have wakened up. And there's many science that has shown the fact that when we first wake up in the morning, the first thing that we think about kind of sets us off for the rest of the day because our brain is in a different wave state, right? So because of that, the first thoughts when we wake up, the first things that we do set us off to have either a good day or not a very good day. And from a personal experience, I've observed that gratitude as first thing in the morning really makes a difference to how you go about your day. And Buddhist monks know this, and every morning they wake up and they consider death for this reason. Because they have woken up, because they are able to live, while many have not. And I didn't really understand this truth until recently, when I've been put to a condition myself and life made me ask myself, what if I died today? Now, what if I died now? What would I wish I had done? What would I wish I had left the world with? What would I wish that I had changed, right? Maybe have done that I haven't. Because in reality, we don't know how many moments we have. We have every moment once. We live each moment that we have it once, right? We live our moment and it's done. It's never going to be the same because every moment is a new moment. And so when I asked that myself, what if I die today? Because we don't know. We don't know how many moments we have. And what came to me was that it opened my heart. You know, how many times we spend our lives stuck in the past, stuck in the future. We wonder over the little things. Someone said something, or maybe there was an issue with your car or kids or parents or something like that. And we kind of get stuck there. But we forget the fact that none of this life is permanent, right? We're here for a temporary time period. We have this life, we have this body, and then it will be gone. So I think this idea of death, the understanding that we are here now and we don't know how long we will be here. And it kind of takes away all kind of need to pretend or to really waste energy on negative emotions or waste energy on fear or worry, because when we understand the fact that we will die one day, it really brings us to our core values in this moment. Because when I ask myself, what if I died now? You know, what would I have done with my life that I didn't do? Surprisingly, to my own surprise, I wanted to share everything that I know. I wanted to share the way that I live my life, the way that I do things, the things that I've learned, because I believe that I do live a pretty non-standard life. I have a really strange way of looking at things, but I believe that it has helped me find happiness, and I would want to share that, however many people ever get to see it. And in that moment, it took all those fears. Fear of what if maybe people think I'm crazy? What if maybe someone hears me and thinks the wrong thing? What if I don't look right? What if I don't look perfect? What if I say the wrong thing? What if no one ever sees it, right? It took all those fears out and it put them into the corner, because it kind of made me understand that fear will always be there. It's normal to feel fear, right? But it's just a matter of our priorities. What is more important to you? I got this idea from Sadhguru. He said, when making decisions, think of it like this. If you were at your deathbed, right? If you were looking back into your life from the moment of your deathbed, what would you wish you had done? What would you wish you had chosen in this moment, right? And I also found that this kind of tool, when making decisions, really puts things in perspective. It really makes you ground to your heart, and it really opens you to your truth, to what truly matters to you in this moment, because it's easy. We all do this. We're all human. We all get lost in our egos because we all have an ego, right? I don't think ego is evil. It's just meant to be integrated, but nonetheless, we all have it. And when we go through this process of being with our ego, right, it's easy to get lost in it. It's easy to get lost in our heads. But if we, when making decisions, when interacting with people, or even having an argument, if we go back for a second and say, on my deathbed, what would I wish I had chosen in this moment? Would I wish I had posted that video? Would I wish I had apologized or said I love you to this person? Would I wish that I had the courage to actually follow my passion? Would I wish that I had the courage to say, so what that I feel like this? I feel that this is what really matters. What really matters is your heart. What really matters is your truth. And I think when we look at it like that, at least for me, the consideration that we will die one day really puts you into your heart and into the understanding that there is a lot out there. There are a lot of opinions. There are a lot of people. But you are the one who is with yourself from the birth to the last breath you take. And it's your responsibility to take care of the self that you have been given, right? Because we often identify with ourselves. We think, oh, but this is me. I am this body or these thoughts or these feelings, but they're not you. These things are given to you. You are just awareness. You're aware of things. And, just as an observer, you get to choose where you put your focus. And when we know that this life is impermanent, we put our focus into our hearts, and we can really see, what is this truth? If you could understand that you live each moment once, right? Because we do, but we don't think about it. Each moment is given to us once. There is no second chance to this moment. There's no way to go back and say, oh, let me relive the Monday when I woke up and I did not like my hair that day. There's no second chances, okay? We live each moment once. And including this moment. If you have anything that you fear, what's stopping you, right? If you look back at this moment, at your last breath, understanding that you had this choice now, what would you wish you had chosen? And yeah, I hope that this makes some sense. I personally found this to be a little bit interesting. And at first, I actually tried to run away from this concept. I was like, I don't really know if I want to think about dying just yet. Or, I don't think I want to die yet. I'm pretty young, I think. I don't want to die yet. But we're not dying yet. We're just bringing into our awareness, understanding that one day we will. And none of us know how long we have here, right? The creator that created us and our experience here fundamentally is the only one that really knows. I mean, maybe there's some psychic people out there who know to the dot their exact expiration date, so to speak, but most of us do not, right? So this idea of living each moment like it's your last moment is a really great way to ground it to your heart. Ground into your heart, not worry about the fact that I just screwed up those words right there, because such idea as perfection is not real. Perfection is just this concoction of our minds of what we think is better than the other. But if we really think about it, what's good and bad is just an understanding of our own minds. It's just a projection of our own ego, because if I ask you, is alcohol good? Right? Let's just say, to be a perfect kid or the perfect parent, you have an idea about what it means to drink, right? If I ask you, is alcohol good? Right? That really depends. As a college kid who just wants to party, you'll say, yeah, it's good. It allows me to be myself and have the courage. As a parent who is worried, you will say, no, I don't like alcohol because it puts my kid to danger. As someone who has overdosed on alcohol, you'll be like, I'm never drinking again. As a medical professional, you might say alcohol is good because you put rubbing alcohol on the wound, right? And as a chemist, you'll say it's just a molecular group that has an OH at the end. It has no meaning. It's a molecule. So what something is good or bad is a matter of our own ideas. And when we think of things being perfect, it's also just a matter of what we consider to be perfect. But it's not actually real. And when we think about the fact that, one day we will die and we're not perfect, we're just ourselves, and in this imperfection is actually the perfection itself, because we're created to be ourselves, and that's the perfection, right? You're perfect as you are because you're created to be yourself. And through that, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that you listened to your heart and you acted from the space of love and understanding, which I believe that all of us access through the question of, if I died tomorrow or on my deathbed, what would I wish I had chosen? You'll find that, I'm pretty sure always, it drops you into your heart and it makes you aware of your heart's true desires, your true wants that maybe you wish you had lived out but were held back. And I just think it's a really great tool to use to get a better insight into your own soul. And yeah, that's just that. And thank you for watching. And remember that you're amazing just because you exist.